Hey, what's up guys? My name is Dr. Devin Shea from Aligned Life, and today I'm going to show you 4 powerful movements that are going to help to counteract and reverse the effects of working from home at your kitchen table. Let's get started. All right guys, so if you are now spending 6 to 10 hours a day seated at your kitchen table or at your kitchen counter because of COVID and you're now working from home, first thing I want you to do is change your desk setup. So we made a video a little while back. It's called How to DIY Your Home Workspace. So jump on over, take a look at that video. It has a step-by-step guideline on how to make an ideal work environment so that you don't create a lot of chronic issues. If, on the other hand, you haven't tried that or you've tried it and you're still having issues, then I want you to go through these next 4 powerful movements. So the first thing that I'm going to have you go through is looking at your front of your body and recognizing that a forward flex position that oftentimes takes place when we're on a laptop or a keyboard is going to cause a lot of tightening effect. So all the muscles in here, your pec major, your pec minor that start at your sternum that go out to your shoulders, these guys become active and tight and pull the shoulders into this forward position. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a pec doorway stretch. Now I love this stretch because it doesn't cost any money. You can do it anywhere in your home that has a doorway. So I want you guys to visualize if just on either sides of me, I'm standing in the doorway goes up, the door frame goes over the top of me like this, okay? So what I would do is I would go ahead and put my hand onto the doorway here. So the doorway, I'm stepping now into the doorway. I've got my arm up at about a 45-degree angle. This arm is against the door frame. I'm gonna step into that, project forward. I'm gonna turn my head away from the side that I've got my arm up, and I'm going to take this offhand and I'm going to take my chest, the tissue here, the pec tissue, and I'm going to pull down toward the middle of my body, toward my sternum. So I'm going to start again. So arm up on the wall, this at a 45-degree angle. I'm stepping into the doorway. I'm looking away from the side that my arm is up. I'm taking this tissue and I'm pulling it down. What this will do is it'll open up this tissue, which is going to give us the lengthening effect that we're looking for to be able to keep our shoulders upright and get into a lot better upright body position rather than this slumped posture. So that's exercise number 1. All right, the second movement we're going to do that's going to help to counteract a lot of what we notice, which is forward head posture positioning, where the head shifts forward of the shoulders, causing stress not only on the bones themselves, but also a tightening effect now on the spinal cord, which shuts down energy trying to get from your brain into the rest of the body, typically leading to things like headaches, migraines, through tension at the back of the muscles here, as well as on the spinal cord and nerves. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a head retraction exercise to be able to build everything back up. A lot of times these deep neck flexors that are responsible for being able to hold those bones in place and to keep the spinal vertebra upright and the head and posture upright, they become weak and inhibited when we spend time, especially at a forward flexed countertop or kitchen table position. So we're going to do the opposite of that, which you can think of, I'm going to exaggerate this position, but let's say we start out here, this is our normal posture. Obviously that's not, but let's say it was. We would want to go ahead, open up the shoulders, big chest, and we're going to take the head and we're going to shift it directly back. So I'm over exaggerating this backward position. I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and relax. I'm going to go ahead and go back into that position, hold for 5 seconds, really fire deep, deep, deep here, and then relax. And we're going to go ahead and do repetitions of this. Now, obviously, because we don't have a lot of resistance or load in that position, reps is going to be our main way of being able to fatigue these tissues. So I'd first start out with maybe 10 of those, and I would work on that for approximately 3 to 4 sets. You may feel soreness after this because a lot of times these muscles really haven't been utilized for a while. If you do, then I would have you stay at that rep scheme for a little while, maybe a week or so. After you feel more comfortable with that, or if right away you really didn't have any soreness, I would have you then increase your rep scheme, maybe 15 reps for 4 sets or 20 reps for 4 sets. You're really looking to accumulate approximately 100 to 150 of those movements that are going to fire those deep neck flexors. All right, so the third movement that we're going to work on is now for the hips and the lower back. So this seated position is notorious for shortening the length between our torso and our legs. And when that happens, we have muscles that come across the hip joint. These are called hip flexors. They become tight and overactive, oftentimes pulling that low back forward, leading to shear on the low back, potentially nerve stress, sometimes even sciatic symptoms, or just general back pain. So if we're seated at the kitchen table, this position is definitely in play for the length of that time. So to counteract that position, what we're going to do is a hip flexor stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys turn and place one foot in front of the other. I'm going to keep my knee behind my toe, which I know it's a little bit difficult to see it in this position, but you'll have to recognize that that's the case. I'm going to take my torso, I'm going to keep that very upright. As I do this position, I'm on this knee here, and I'm on this foot up front. I'm going to go ahead and translate my whole torso, my whole body forward, and my goal is to really separate the space between here and here. I'm trying to create as much of a gap there, an opening effect as we can. What that does is it stretches the hip flexors across that joint, that hip joint. And to even exaggerate this further, I'm going to go ahead and bring my arms up overhead, and I'm just going to be looking straight ahead. This position is great to be holding for approximately 30 seconds. And doing that 4 repetitions, obviously you would switch legs to make sure that you were getting both hip flexors, one on the left and one on the right. All right, guys, last movement to be able to counteract and reverse the seated posture at the kitchen table. We're going to be doing a Cobra pose. All of the things that we've been focused on today are about creating extension in the body, which is going to be the opposite position of what we're in at the kitchen table, which is going to be mainly a flex position. So to do a Cobra pose, we're going to lay on our stomachs. We're going to put our feet flat behind us. We're going to go ahead and take our hands, place them directly underneath our shoulders, and we're going to press upward, leaving our hips on the ground. And we can go ahead and add in the head position, looking up to the sky. If this is too aggressive, or maybe what we want to do is progress into it, we can just go ahead and come up onto our elbows. We're going to have to deliberately turn off this low back musculature here to be able to make this effective. Turn that stuff off, bear the load through your forearms, put your head upward as much as you can. Once you feel ready, then you can go ahead and you can press all the way up into that forward position and create as much extension in those hip flexors as you can. Again, this is going to counteract all the things that we've focused on with the seated posture. Guys, if you've liked the video today, if you found it relevant to where you're at in your life, please utilize these exercises. Take a look at some of the other things that we've done to help you in this time frame. And we hope that we see you guys again. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.